So, welcome back to our channel. Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Temitope Benson, and I have today a new guest with us, person of Martial
Houessou. Houessou.
Houessou. Yeah,
Yeah.
I pronounce it very well. So, our audience today is coming from the francophone. So I'm going to leave it to him to do the full introduction about himself. Just tell us a little bit about himself before we move on with today's business. So over to you, Masha.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Benson. It's an opportunity for me being here, and thank you so much for inviting me. And yeah, first of all, I'll start from my name. My name is Martial Houessou, like he mentioned. And currently, I'm about to complete the second master in rural development at Ghent University, Belgium. So prior this master, I have my master in agricultural economics, University of Ibadan, Nigeria, where I met your host, of course. And I also have two bachelors, like one in sociology, anthropology, and one in agricultural economics as well. So yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Okay, so that is very good, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation. So the first thing I want to ask is, okay, when you were looking for graduate school after your two bachelors, uh,
Mm-hmm.
how did you go about securing full funded scholarship, and how were you able to find yourself in a country that is speaking a language which you don't understand, and how did you survive those times?
Um, uh, yeah, I think basically the idea is having an ambition. It started from having an ambition. I know that I'm a French speaker. I speak only French, but also I know the importance of English, and like all the young people in my country, we know the importance of English, and we learn a little bit of English when we were in high school and university. But you cannot just rely on that uh, training to be able to really speak English. So my idea from day one, when I finished my bachelor, I used to tell my friends that I'm going to do my master in English speaking environment, English speaking country, without knowing the country, without knowing the university, nothing, without English as well. So it started from nothing, like having the ambition, having the goal of doing something. So from there, I started looking for scholarship. Was my with no experience for my first time, like first experience searching for scholarship. So what I do basically, I think I register for opportunity scholarship opportunity position.com. So I used to receive like announcement, scholarship announcement. But at the same time, when I share my ambition with few of my friends, some of them were still concerned how this guy is gonna do about it. But just one day, I was there when one of my friends called me and was like, "Can you come to my place?" And I went to his place, and he actually gave me not even like a link, gave me a paper of this scholarship, equal scholarship, and I was like, this is really strange. Like we used to receive link to apply. So he said this is an announcement of scholarship. I don't know where he got it from, but I said thank you that day, and I went home and I applied. And I applied, and I was so lucky that the scholarship, they were searching for French speakers to go to English environment. So it totally match with my ambition. So like I said, when you have the ambition, I mean, even if you don't know the way you are going to achieve your dream, just trust the process. Like someone said, hold the vision and trust the process. So basically that was it. And yeah, I got the scholarship. I had to admit I applied to few other scholarships, like one in France, of course, which was not my ambition at all, but was just a backup plan. But what happened was exactly what I was looking for. So I got the scholarship, and then I went to Nigeria, one of the, I mean, University of Ibadan, one of the best in Nigeria as well. Yeah. So I mean, I think I answered the first part of your question.
Yeah, you did.
But I don't know if you want me to talk about my current position, the
So
way
yeah,
I.
yeah. So how did you go about your current position? Was it is it the school that is funding you, or you got a scholarship, maybe like something like maybe Erasmus or maybe Commonwealth, or that is funding your current program currently in Belgium?
Okay, well, this one is called Valerius. Valerius is, I mean, the definition is in Dutch. So
Okay,
I'm in Belgium, but I'm not in French speaking part. I'm in Dutch speaking part.
that's
So these scholarships for the Flemish government, like the Dutch speaking part government. So they call it Valerius, VLIR/UOS. Yeah, Valerius. So basically, I mean, my idea is this: when I finish my master in agricultural economics in Ibadan, I I set as a goal to start a PhD. So yeah, there comes something that I would like to share with your audience to be really aware of and not blame other people. Like, I wanted to do a PhD, but I'm like, are you really qualified to be selected for a PhD? Yeah, because I realized it was my first time studying English and my grade was not really good as expected. I was not among the top. I finished with MPhil PhD, but my expectation was to finish with PhD. I think it's okay to get a PhD position, but my idea was like, are you really qualified to get a PhD position? So I was like, okay, I can devote a little bit of time to do another master maybe in European, one of the European countries, in order, like Bachelor University as well, in order to increase my chance when I'm ready to do a PhD to easily get selected. So yeah, most of the European countries, like the universities, you have to submit for the English requirement, you have to submit the TOEFL or you submit the ILS. But I think there are some countries, when you are from countries like Nigeria, like English speaking countries, they waive the TOEFL. You don't need to pay for the TOEFL. And as a result, I have some friends. The One of them is in Ghent University right now, and he didn't submit the TOEFL uh, result. Like, he just used when you finish UI University of Ibadan, you can request an English proficiency certificate claiming that you studied in English. So he used that one. He didn't waste money for TOEFL. He didn't apply. He didn't take the test. So he just used that one. It was pretty smart from him, because they said if you're from Nigeria, you don't need
need to.
to to submit the TOEFL. So he's like, oh wait, I study in Nigeria, so it's basically the same. So it's pretty smart, and I think anyone else can use the same approach in order to, like, avoid the TOEFL
Yeah.
submission or IELTS submission. So, but in my case here, I needed to take the TOEFL. So I have to be aware of my weakness, that I never took any TOEFL exam before, and I'm not that good in English. So when I went back home after graduation in 2017, I mean, everybody was happy. Do you want to get a job now? Do you want to do this? But I know what is in my mind. I know what is in my mind. So I just stay. I first went to English Center to register, like for the training, for the TOEFL training, because I have no materials to study. So yeah, I took 2 months. I was supposed to take 1 month. The guy told me that you can just take 1 month because you are from, like, you just finished a master. And I said okay, but I didn't register yet. I said okay, so I started the training. It was going well because I was doing some trial exams stuff for, and the result was, the result were quite okay. But I noticed something. I noticed that my listening was kind of like not good. Like, my first English was in Nigeria, so I met only people from English speaking environment like Ghana, other countries. So like I'm like, okay, this is a problem. So I work on my listening. Well, the way I did it, just like use headphone, listening to tracks, TOEFL audio tracks, like every day. Even when I go to the bathroom, when I go out, it's still in my ear. So I did that in order to increase my listening. So finally, when I know that I'm ready, I went for the TOEFL. And so they were looking for 80 and I got 90. So I submitted. And since I know that I'm not dumb, like my academic results are okay, so I was able to, I think the TOEFL result also increased a little bit my chance of being selected. So just one day I was there and they said, thank you, like, the scholarship announcement, like, thank you for, like, you have been selected. And I was like, okay, great. Yeah. So, like, of course, in the first scenario, in this one as well, I got this scholarship, but I have to admit as well that I multiplied my chance. I applied for another one as well, called Sustainable Development. For that one, I was pre-selected and I had an interview, but I don't know if it did go well or not, but I wasn't selected. I was in the waiting list. And this one, I got it. And yeah, I came here and I'm about to finish. Yeah.
Wow,
So that's it.
that's good. So, so I want to ask, what is the biggest challenge from migrating from French speaking to English and searching for academic program and scholarship in English speaking country when you're coming from the French side, you speak French almost half of your life, half of your
Yeah.
life already, you speak French. So what is the main challenges and how is it for you when you're in class and the professors are speaking? Because I've been in a French speaking country before also, and I was in class, and it's not, for speaking French is not easy. The professor is always asking me every time, do you understand what we are doing? Do you understand what we're doing? Just tell us if you don't understand. You
Mhm.
we can call you this and that. I'm like, I can't be the only one that will be slowing the class that just continue. I'll read it off. So how were you able to survive 2 years in Nigeria and now almost 2 years or more than in Belgium? How were you
Yeah.
able to survive in class?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. Yeah, in I know that it sounded good at the beginning when I said, like, just finished agricultural economics like that. People were like, okay, but how about the language? Yeah, I totally understand. It was pretty difficult. It was really difficult. But like I said, I'm a man with ambition. I know exactly what I want. And I know I always trying to recognize my weaknesses and always take time to work on them before any complaint. I don't give excuses, I work on myself first before trying to find if there is an excuse I can give. So honestly, it was really, really hard. It was really, really tough because, like you said, professor will ask you, are you following? And you don't want to be the guy always delaying everybody. And that's your case. At least they know that you don't speak French. But in my case, we were two in the class. But actually, the professor, they don't really know if there are two students in the class that don't speak English. So when you are there, everybody is expecting you to speak English. So you don't say anything, you just survive. So it's like you're doing two things at the same time. And the worst is that, and which actually helped, was that, well, they were dictating some notes, especially in project management, statistics, and oh wow. So at the beginning it was really hard. So that's exactly when you make friends, because you cannot write everything. So you make friends and you catch up, you take their notes and you catch up maybe at home, or maybe after class. But honestly, it was a double work. Yeah, because I just make sure, the first thing is like I make sure that I take the right notes. And like when I want to study now, instead of using 2 hours to study, I spend like 6 hours, because it's like you have to really understand what's going on. And also, yeah, the chance is like I finished from agricultural economics, and I was doing agricultural economics. So basically the concepts are the same. And like depending on the language, you at least understand what they are trying to say. Like if even if it's not French, you're trying to understand. So I was spending more time than expected to do the same job. It was hard. I wasn't really sleeping, but yeah, I got the expected result. I got exactly what I wanted. People even thought that I was smart in the class, but I'm not. I'm just trying to survive.
we are all we all try to survive at one point in time. It's just the level is different. That's a good experience. That's to encourage our listener also that there's nothing that is not achievable. Everything is achievable once you are determined and once you have the right ambition and set your mind and put everything upon that goal, you get definitely achieve that particular goal that you want. So the next thing I want to ask is this scholarship. What's the modality? Do you have to work with a professor? Do you have to teach or something, or was it just a full ride? Just attend classes, read, and do exam? Because I want to know how that is going to be able to be an effect in your English speaking and you working with a professor or doing your graduate position job, if there's anything like that.
um. Okay. Well, this one is you don't. I mean, it's not written in the scholarship agreement that you can work with any professor,
Okay.
but it can happen that you work with the professor. Like right now, I have an Asian friend. She's kind of like okay, she was working with the professor, but at the end they just called it internship. You know, so it depends on the professor and depends on how close you are with the professor. It can just be that you help the professor review something, and then from there, the professor might always want you to help him for something. So yeah, so you communicate. But basically, I would say I don't know if my English is already okay, but
You
like
speak well. You speak well.
so I can say that since the I mean the moment I moved here, I met a lot of people from different countries, like from Korea, from China, from Japan, from many countries with different English accent, and so you have to cope. And I can say that today the listening has improved, like I was saying earlier, and yeah, the English is okay because the professors here, I think it's the same in the US. The professors here, they are not like back in Africa, where it's a kind of top-down relationship. When the professor is talking, you cannot say anything. So here, the professors are just like your friends. So you can communicate, you can call them, you can even send them an email. You can do whatever you want. Even if you have a project, it's really interesting, you can just call the professor. The professor is interested as well. You both can work on it. And yeah, But for your question, that like teaching, working with professor and teaching, it works basically when you're a PhD student.
Okay.
Because in the rules and regulations of the university, the moment you start your PhD, you have no choice. You have to teach at least I don't know, if the professor teaches like courses, you have to take at least two or assist him in at least three. Like, and also when you become PhD student, immediately for any bachelor or master's thesis, you are in charge of it. The professor doesn't give a shit anymore. You have to be the one. You have to be the one supervising all the students. So yeah, and I think knowing that, I mean, if your English is not good as well, you cannot teach to in order to allow the student to understand. But I think right now I can teach because I had a lot of presentations during my program, and I think people understand me when I speak, and I think I can teach as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. I'm really glad to hear that.
Thank you.
And now you know you speak like me. You know looking for the word or carrying
Thank you.
so it's really good. So I think that will be all because we've really talked about the admission process. It's just first thing you have to do is you have to go online and search for the scholarship. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some scholarship that you brought to our notice now, like opportunity for scholarship or scholarship
Scholarshipposition.com. Yeah.
scholarshipposition.com. You can subscribe to that website and you will
Mhm.
get updates on
Receive
scholarship.
exactly.
You receive updates on scholarship every now and then, and you can always go through them. You just have to go through them. It's very easy for you to apply. You just go
Mhm.
through them, look at the requirements and all that is being asked of you, then prepare your application, submit, and be hopeful that you'll be called for interview or you'll be selected. Just try as much as possible to apply for as many as possible that you can apply for because you don't know that one that is
Yeah.
going to call you and say, okay, congratulations to you.
Yeah.
So don't give up. There is a lot of challenges and roadblock on the way, but you will always overcome. So I think that will be all for today. Thank you and stay tuned. Thank you so much, Mr. Marshall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
honoring us,
Thank you, Mr.
sharing your
Ben.
experience from moving from a French-speaking country to English-speaking country. I'm sure you are already good for a PhD right now.
Yeah, I think so. Completely.
Good for a PhD right now. So
You're
thank you so
welcome.
much.